shake, rattle, and troll.
It's time for the award-winning Shake, Rattle, and Troll.
Yeah, kiss the wife body, grab your favorite pole. It's me and the boys gonna shake.
A show for the serious fishermen as well as the novice looking for tips from the pros.
We got the power, we got the speed. We're running wide open on a midsummer breeze. Freshwater, saltwater, watch out, boys. Bass Daddy Don's gonna make some noise. It's me and the boys gonna shake, rattle, and
Now, here's your host, saltwater fisherman, the man that fears no fish, Bass Daddy and Tournament Pro, Don McDowell.
Yeah, man. Hey, I'm Don McDowell. Welcome to Shake, Rattle, and Troll this morning. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. In-house with us today is...
Voice of moderation and reason. Morning, Bass Daddy.
Really?
Yep.
John J. Colazar.
Amen.
All righty. Back by popular band by the...
Popular band.
yeah. Wildlife Branch Chief. Did I get that right?
You did get that right.
Scott Lavin from AZGFD. You can check him out at azgfd.gov and set up your own personal portal account if you don't have one.
Nice.
And the chief paperboy from Western Outdoor Times, Arizona Boating and Water
Award-winning James Allen.
Of course. Good morning.
Yes, and congratulations on your recent Outdoor Rider of the Year award from the department commission.
Well, and likewise to you.
Well done, well done. You know, some of that stuff you were going to write about Commissioner Davis, boy, maybe you shouldn't have printed that.
I've been here for 30 seconds, and he's already got me in trouble. I must be in the right place.
Oh, you've not seen anything yet.
I must be in the right
How about
place.
that Donald Trump, huh?
Well, I was talking to somebody just a minute ago, and I said it's the first time in 50 years I've thought that there was a strong possibility this country will get someplace.
Yeah, boy. Well, we don't have
Other
any...
than that, I have no strong feelings about this at all.
Oh, yeah. It's just getting better by the day. We don't have any breaking news out of San Diego other than the fact that the ocean has been very angry this past week. Lumpy, bumpy, rainy. The winds were blowing.
Were you out there this week?
No, there wasn't a whole lot of sense of going with the weather the way it was. Check Tanner Banks. It was running 13.6 wave height, 8-second intervals. So it was... Captain Bill said it was angry. I thought it was blowing and bumpy, but we'll be talking to him about, let's see, about the 8:30. Guggenauer's got the fishing report. Ought to be some news on the watershed filling up our reservoirs here. At 7:30, we'll be talking to Rich Rissy. Richie was the U.S. AAA champion up at the Open on Mead. Done a good job, but he's kind of settled down. I'm not going to say that Irish women had a profound impact on him, but he quit fishing after he met her. It has been growing. He converted, like this, John. He converted from fishing to gardening.
What?
Yeah, he's gardening. He's growing medicinal, medical marijuana up in Bend, Oregon. Go figure.
That's a huge industry right now, my friend.
Oh, yes, huge. So, I talked to him the other day. I said, what are you doing? He says, trimming. I go, excuse me?
Yeah, trimming. Big deal.
I said, okay. So,
John, you seem to know a lot about this.
My nephew grows here in Phoenix.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Every bit of every plant is utilized in some way, shape, or form. Yeah.
I know there's a tremendous amount of money in it.
Yeah, but there's also a tremendous amount of taxation in it, too.
I wouldn't doubt that for a
go
minute.
figure.
I mean, fortunately for the state of Arizona, I think we got $60 million out of it last year. But the tax rate is almost 40%.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Not that I would ever do that.
No, I understand. But you brought your cookies.
Jan. Those are from Jan. Give me a break.
You can see even the investment analysts are saying it's a good place to invest your money.
Oh, yeah.
So
Stock's going up. I can't see it, but for those people who truly need it medicinally, that's fine. as recreational.
It wouldn't
They
be bad
scare
if
me to
you,
no
you
end.
had your medical marijuana right next to a chronic taco shop. You know,
Oh.
I can see that.
Well, I have talked to.
Come on, Josh, quit it.
There's
I
actually
have talked to a
spot
number
out
of
in
people
Queen
that
Creek.
What's that?
swear by it medicinally.
There's a spot out in Queen Creek actually where there's a dispensary right next to a really good Chicago pizzeria.
Oh boy.
Hey, there you go. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. I guess Dunkin' Donuts isn't out of the question either. So, anyway, we're going to move right along. We've had a lot of stuff going on. Robert Graham, the chairman of the Arizona GOP, has stepped down. I think they voted yesterday. I haven't taken time to tally the votes and see who's next in line. We've got the Arizona Military Vehicle Collectors Show going on as we speak at Tempe Diablo Stadium. Are you coming out today?
I'm going to try to get out there this afternoon.
I'll tell you what, last year was a good show. This year was a great show. Probably the biggest difference, there's a tremendous amount of Jeeps. All kinds of Jeeps. Every generation of Jeep, including brand new ones from Bill Luke, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, are out there on display. But we've got World War I represented, World War II, Korea, Vietnam. A lot of Vietnam veterans out there yesterday wandering around.
Oh, you were out there.
Oh, yeah, all day. We'll be
Yeah,
back out there.
you and Dave
JK's
got
going to be
yours.
good enough to give me a ride in the infamous Prius. And, I'm
Damn
looking
right.
forward to that.
That fit right in with all those vehicles out there.
It would fit in the back of most of them.
Yeah, I would. Truly.
You got
So,
your
yeah.
truck out there.
Yeah, I've got Big Sexy out there. Yep. And Dave's got the M35A2 Doos and Half out there that he dressed up like Coast Guard, which is just wrong.
We used to drag race those deuce and a halves.
That's an oxymoron.
Setting the low speed record for the quarter mile.
Oh, my God, yeah. So
Through downtown Glendale.
anyway, if you have some time to enjoy the weather today, which yesterday was just absolutely stellar. I think it costs $5 to get in. There's vendors that have all kinds of stuff. You can buy World War I bayonets, all kinds of bayonets for sure. Gas cans, ammo cans, good stuff.
Sounds like a party.
Well, I look forward to it every year because, first in, you get your pick of the stuff. And I always like to try to pick up 1911 magazines, and there wasn't one to be had.
Really?
Not one. So I was a little disappointed. So anyway, JK, what's on your radar screen this week?
Well, we had a caller who called into you personally and was somewhat disgruntled at our attitude on the Sierra Club. And
Oh, thanks for reminding me. I want to thank that caller if you're listening. Thanks for listening.
thank you for listening. I agree. And so I decided to take a little look at our friends at the Sierra Club and a little historical background. And I found a place called the Strata Policy Group out of Utah State University.
A lot of stuff going on up in Utah.
Yeah, there were 2 doctorate candidates and another individual by the name of Jordan Lofthouse. And Jordan happened to be on vacation last week, so I'm going to get more information as we go forward. The Sierra Club, for the most part, has always been an environmental group striving to improve the quality of life in the United States.
For whom?
For everybody. And
Really?
Yeah. They began working back in the 60s. And according to this documentation, as well as all the records that we could find, the Sierra Club and the Equal Access to Justice Act, they have become phenomenally wealthy by doing the litigation that they have done. And one of the things that was really interesting was when the Equal Access Justice Act came into existence, they were supposed to have a cap of $179 an hour for attorney's fees. The way that the Sierra Club and now others have circumvented that rule is that unless there were extenuating circumstances or specialty attorneys. And so what's happened now is there's a whole industry in law schools called environmental law. And these guys promote themselves as specialists. And so what's happened is over the past 50 years, the Sierra Club has been able to get up to $750 an hour for their attorneys. And quite frankly, nobody will know how much money has been awarded because there was an oversight committee that was abandoned in 1995, which happened to be about the same time as the Center for Biological Diversity, Sierra Club, and Wild Earth Guardians all came into existence heavily.
So basically what you're saying is the government doesn't have a checkbook that they can go back and research.
None. The Oversight Committee was abandoned, and there's a bunch of different agencies that have been sued by the Sierra Club, and they have made outrageous amounts of money off of these awards. And Wild Earth Guardians is one of the worst because they have filed up to 600 different species at one time against Fish and Wildlife Services, and that there's a 90-day requirement time frame for them to respond. When you file 600, it inundates Fish and Wildlife Services, so they sue and settle. And we'll get back to more
Not really.
later.
Within 90 days, I can write a response to that. Hell no, we're not doing that.
Yeah, well, it doesn't happen that way. Required by law.
You're going to make me call Donald Trump, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
All right, that said, we'll be back more with
Special K.
Scott Lavin.
Jim Allen.
Yes, sir. Welcome to the blender, Jim. All right, Chief, that's just for you, fresh in from the SHOT Show. How was your adventure with the bullet guys?
We were just talking during the break. There are 80,000 people at SHOT Show this year.
Nice.
You have to give up fashion. I was wearing track shoes to put in the miles every day.
It's huge.
You can't bring out the cowboy boots until after dark. But it was, as always, the National Shooting Sports Foundation puts on one heck
was
of
that
a
at
show.
the convention center?
Yeah, it was at the
It's everywhere.
Sands Convention Center.
Yeah.
I don't know how many hotels, because I have friends who stay across the street at the Mirage. I have friends who stay across the street at Treasure Island. I'm in so many meetings. I find that the only way to be available and timely, you have to stay at the Venetian.
I would think the good Republican that you are, you would have been down at the Trump building. Trump Hotel.
And, if you're not on site, it's going to take you 45 minutes. And if somebody calls you and say, hey, we're getting together, can you meet with us in about 10 minutes?
Sure.
The only way to do it is if you're staying on site.
ICAST is the same way.
Yeah. So, no, it was huge. Connected with some good friends. We've really built a good local state industry summit here in Arizona, as you guys know. And a lot of our friends like Frank DeSoma from Patriot Ordnance Factories, Kelly McMillan Rifle Stocks, and so forth. We're all there, so it's always great to touch base with them. But the industry is alive and well, as you can imagine.
Normally, when we go to these things like ICAST or the SHOT Show or any of these trade shows with the new stuff that's coming out for next year, there's something that has a wow value. What was
your wow?
Yeah, what'd you walk up and just go, wow, that's really cool.
I hate to say this on the air because I think you're going to revoke my man card, but
no.
I get so caught up in the business and the meetings and the hustle. I can honestly say in 4 years of going to SHOT Show, I have never stopped once to handle and appreciate an individual firearm. And I apologize for that, but I mean, we are chasing business.
I get it. Yeah, I
do.
totally get it. But you had to see something.
Yeah.
Was it a knife? Was it a gun?
I tell you what, one of you guys know I'm also on the board for Shot Heard Around the World Day, and one of my fellow board members is a gentleman by the name of Ryan Bronson. He's the head of congressional affairs for Vista Outdoor, which is the largest single Pittman Roberts contributor in the world.
Wow.
They own Weaver Rings, Simmons Optics, Savage Firearms, Camelback. I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
They own all those?
They're Blackhawk. They are the largest conglomerate. And to see their booth at SHOT Show, It's bigger than the building that we're in right now, and it is multi-storied, and it just goes. They've got projection screens and celebrities speaking. The one thing that always stands out to me in SHOT Show is that presentation, that booth, that collaboration of just amazing brand names we've all grown up with. It always just smacks me in my right in the nose when I get there.
Yeah, man.
When are they ever going to have a SHOT Show out here?
Never.
Never.
There.
We've tried to
We're
trim
not
that
big enough.
for the Arizona Game and Fish Expo, and you look at those that presentation, that booth. I
Yeah.
was just many of those presentation booths that they have at SHOT Show from the bigger brands like Outdoor Channel and so forth. Those are $1 million trade show displays, and after SHOT Show, they pack them up, they put them in the truck, and they don't touch it until next SHOT Show.
Sure.
And they are not willing to get them dirty anyplace else.
Yeah.
You got to remember, about 90% of the deals for firearm manufacturers are retailers, I should say, are written at SHOT Show. When I was with Dick's Sporting Goods, we bought 90% of the year's firearms for sale for the entire company at SHOT Show.
And then add-ons or emergency orders were handled during the year, but it represented such a minor portion of it.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
it is. The amount of money that's being. Every one of those booths has either behind the curtain or a little glass booth, or I was fortunate enough to be asked upstairs to the NRA booth. I didn't even know they had an upstairs at the NRA booth, and there's a lot of.
There's a lot of deals.
Deals. It is humbling to be there.
Speaking of NRA, former Commissioner Bob Mansell is making a run for NRA board of directors.
He is.
Yep.
Yeah,
I saw him there.
I thought, and when the first time I ever saw Commissioner Mansell, I thought of him as the kindly old grandfather. When he left,
That is a myth.
A myth. I refer to him as Commissioner Pitbull. He's like a dog with a bone on issues. He won't let it go. He's tenacious, and he knows what he's doing.
We're gonna publish some of his photographs on a tactical shotgun course. Looks like a semi or maybe a full automatic 50 caliber that's scoped on a tripod.
Really?
Yeah.
I like him. I grew to like him.
Well,
more
he's
and more
just
as
so
it started.
deceiving, which goes back to the theory that you don't know who you're talking to.
I know.
The looks are deceiving, and they never are what they seem to be.
He's
Guess is if you want to positively destroy it overnight, you call Bob Mansell.
He's definitely a meat eater. He's a manufacturer. I've purchased firearm items from him. But, it's like so many other stories in this industry. He started in education. He was a teacher. I started in retail. You look at, Frank DeSoma started in the aerospace machining industry. Lake Tactical started in the aerospace machining industry. We all did something else.
And where did you start?
Delivering papers. First job I ever had.
He never changed.
Never
I've gone right back to where I started.
Once you get bit by that recreational shooting bug, it's very easy to transition and make it your passion and create a business out of it.
Unfortunately, recreational shooting is taking a twist for almost necessary shooting skills for personal protection and the environment that we live in, and some of the things we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
Well, I am surprised. I went back to ICAST last year.
I heard I was coming to your show, so I brought him.
Thank you. I appreciate that. There wasn't anything at ICAST that had a wow value. I mean, you've got rods and reels and terminal tackle is what it is.
Yeah.
You get some lures and, it's got a new shine, you got a new sparkle, but it's the same old stuff with a new twist. It's like a Volkswagen. A Volkswagen is a Volkswagen. It's always been a Volkswagen. Isn't going to be anything but a Volkswagen. Does it look different? Yeah, it's a little bit. You got a new bumper.
Fender bird.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It just...
if you had a lift kit for Priuses, I think people would stop by in a median. Seriously, you think about it.
Dreaming. I'm always dreaming.
Somebody's going to put together a lift kit for a Prius. They're so quiet going through the woods. You've got a big F-350 diesel going down a dirt road or a Prius jacked up, sneaking down the road. Who do you think's going to see more wildlife?
back to you, Scott. I'm
I
not
just,
that one.
well, I just don't know. How are you going to target and acquire the deer when they're rolling on the ground laughing after they see the lifted Prius?
John, you're not doing good here, are you?
Well,
It's okay. I fit a 6x6 320-inch bull elk, complete, all meat, all package, everything.
What
Prius.
happened to that elk was he, like Scott said, he standing there laughing. They got out and shot him.
himself
Look
a hernia.
at those two assholes in the. I didn't say that in the Prius.
I hope you got a delay.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, cool. Okay,
Squawk
well,
box.
anyway,
Yes.
how did we get on Prius?
You were looking for a wow factor. If anybody ever showed up at any of those shows, that would be a wow factor. People would be laughing all day long.
Well, you're doing pretty. He does have camouflage seat covers.
I do.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
They're nice.
Yes.
That's good. Any predictions of how many people or how many vendors were at the SHOT Show? You said there was 80,000 folks there, but vendors.
I did not catch that number, but it is easily in the hundreds. I mean, you count
acres and acres and acres.
It's
of
football field on top of football field on top of football field in that place. It is amazing. I think they say it's the second largest trade show in Vegas all year. It is the largest single firearms show in the world.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Consumer Electronics Show is the biggest, which is the first week.
You covered that. AZBW and WOT was putting out day one of the shot, day two of the shot.
You know John and Margie Anderson.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you ran into them there, but they were kind enough to send us daily updates, so we put that out.
Yeah.
And then the upcoming issue this month, we've got John covers all kinds of holsters, and those guys they really get into this stuff. But John and Margie are incredibly knowledgeable.
Yeah,
they
on weaponry.
Yeah, and they were talking.
And stuff. Margie's of Indian heritage. Is that the politically correct term?
The greatest thing in the world is when we got over that politically correct.
All right,
stuff.
she's part indigenous Aborigine. So how's that?
I'm part Indian, so.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. But at any rate, they've got tremendous skills, and they know the state upside down and backwards. But we got to put out daily updates from them. So
Good
that was
stuff.
nice. Yeah.
That said, we're going to flip into a break when we come back. James Guggenauer with the Rim Country Custom Rods Fishing Report.
Well, the morning's kinda damp. I'm not worried about cutting the grass. Left my truck at the boat ramp and my boat is full of gas. My old boss thinks I'm sick today. He won't have me to harass. 'Cause I'm out here on the river and he can kiss my big old bass.
Yeah, man, James Guggenauer from the mountain in downtown Payson. What's happening, my friend?
Hey, good morning, Don. I can't stop laughing up here.
Why?
I'm trying to visualize a jacked up pink Prius.
It's not pink, it's wrapped camo. Give me a break.
You ought to see it from this end if you think it's funny up there.
It's all right, guys. You pay.
That would be too good.
James, it's a new world.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you what, with the Prius in the woods, Panama Red living in, Boulder, Colorado or Denver, just God, what's happening here?
Yeah.
John, I got to kind of side in with you. I'm driving a 4-wheel drive Lincoln, and I'd put it up against most of those big trucks myself.
I know.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
The only problem is they'll drive right over you.
Yep. Hot rod Lincoln.
You better watch your attitude, Mr. McDowell. There is a long walk to Tempe Diablo.
Thank you. All righty then.
Uber time.
Well, there is one man in the house that's driving a nice 150 Ford out there. Maybe I can ride in the back.
That back seat is bigger than the front seat.
I'll come get you, Don.
Okay. Yeah. You'd be in good company. A lot of stuff going on down there, James. You wouldn't believe the military trucks, real manly vehicles down there, let's just say.
I agree. Hey, the big news in Rim Country continues to be our water flow. Just some information for your listeners. Yesterday Roosevelt reported 50% full.
Bingo.
So in the last month, That lake has gone from 36% full to 50% full, and it has come up over 16 vertical feet.
That's huge.
Wow. That's pretty amazing. Last year, I went back and looked at my fishing reports last year, and we are already like 6% higher than the highest reading last year.
Interesting. What's the what's the prognosis on as high as anybody thinks it might get this year?
You know, remember last week, it was kind of funny. Some of the ranchers that lived down there, they were predicting that the moisture we already had, the snow and rain, that it would reach 50%. So that was pretty accurate. There's still more than 20 inches of snow up on the rim.
Yeah.
So who knows what that's going to get to. But I wouldn't be surprised to get up around 70%. And,
wow,
you know, might even go higher than that.
Well, we're trying to initiate a water conservation program for Salt River Project, and that's where on odd number days you shower with the neighbor on the wife on the west, and then even days you shower on the east. You know, I mean, come on, we got to try to do our part.
This is not going to get better, is it?
No, he's been running downhill since the word
We
go.
got an hour and a half to go.
Yeah.
Hey, some more things about the lake. That water coming in is ice cold, and it is really dirty water. The water temperature in the middle part of the lake, this is down by the dam, is 52 degrees.
Yikes.
The guys are telling me that when they're catching a bass and they bring it into the boat and they hold it, the bass is colder than their hands. So, I mean,
Nice.
It is slow kind of fishing down there. And the water is stained on the salt end down past the marina and on the Tonto end past Rock Creek. So there's not even much clear water anywhere in the lake anymore with all this water coming in. So as a result, fishing conditions were reported poor to fair sometimes. The only guys who reported any success are fishing in the backs of coves in the afternoon, and they get an occasional bite back there in some shallow water. And guys are thinking mostly because that's a little bit warmer water back there. But pretty rough fishing right now on Roosevelt Lake, but it's going to be a great spring in a couple of months for sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Listen, I want to ask you, are you familiar with this new NECO technique, NEKO?
No.
It's similar to a wacky Cinco, and let's talk about that. So if you know how to wacky rig a Cinco, and you take, let's say, a shaky head and cut the hook off and screw it into one end of the Cinco, so that when you pick it up, it goes head down, and you wacky technique it. That is supposed to be the hot ticket. It's in this past month's Bassmaster magazine. But I've had discussions with guys that are doing that. There's actually threaded lead versions of nail weights or similar to a shaky head that you just screw this thing into the big end. It could be a worm, 6-inch worm.
Yeah.
So anyway, check that out. I haven't tried that. I'm a pretty big fan of wacky rigging a Cinco with or without a O-ring on it. So it's just another variation of an old trick with a new name.
Oh, and I mean, just like you're saying, the wacky rig Cinco is such a good technique for Roosevelt and Apache and our reservoirs that I wouldn't doubt this thing's going to work too. So that could be a big.
Well, what it does, Jim, is the end with the weight in it. It keeps it down as if the fish are going to think, oh, there's something over there feeding, because it's down and it's pounding and clicking and bumping in the mud.
Sure.
So it makes totally good sense. I'm thinking.
Check it out.
So,
Hey, we wanted to get in a shout for the reef ball builds. They are scheduled for February 3rd and 4th. And these reef balls, I think you had Chief Cantrell on a couple of weeks ago, and he was saying that in the April time frame is going to be the first deployment of reef balls into Roosevelt Lake. That's where these things are destined to go. If you've got a bass club, a group of organizations or something, this is a great project to volunteer for. Contact Amber Lee Jones. Her email is akjones@azgfd.gov, and she'll get you set up. She's looking for volunteers.
How many balls are they planning on manufacturing this go round?
I don't know the number. I think it depends on how many volunteers they get down there.
Yeah.
They typically do about a half a dozen to maybe 10 at each group.
Yeah.
So,
I wonder, perhaps you can contact the new sheriff from Maricopa County. Maybe we can get some court-appointed community service out there to give the guys a hand.
Hey, there's an idea. Hadn't thought about that.
No. Look, I'm being serious here.
Yeah, community service. There's a whole lot of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That would be really good for them to do.
Yeah. I'll pass that along to Amber Lee.
Just saying.
Okay.
It'd be easier to get those guys out there than it would be get the bass anglers out there doing something sometimes.
Well, since the bass anglers are going to benefit by these things, and by the way, they are going to release the GPS coordinates of every one of these reef balls. So it's going to be public information where these things are all set out there. So if you want to be first in on it, you want to be right there to get your own GPS readings when you dump one of these things over the side. So check it out. It's pretty interesting.
Or you can wait 6 weeks and we'll get it from Julia Assange and WikiLeaks.
There we go.
Or you can hear it right here on Shake, Rattle, and Troll, because everybody's going to be talking about it.
You got it. We're going to be worse than WikiLeaks here.
Yeah.
We already
Yeah,
are.
Special K leaks.
Yeah.
All right, what else? Anybody catching crappies?
No, crappie's about the same as bass. It's just pretty slow as that water's churned up. But the good thing is, with the water moving up the Tonto end so far now, that when it does clear, those guys that are familiar with how the channel goes up along Bermuda Flats and horse pasture, there's some great bends in that river bottom that hold crappie. So in a couple of weeks, crappie fishing is really going to take off on the Tonto.
Has anybody reported rattlesnakes in the trees? Because those rattlesnakes have a tendency to hibernate. Don't look at me like that. They,
No, they do. They
hibernate in that Tonto Basin to
Yes,
get
they
up there
do.
in those rocks. So when the water comes in, do they just sleep through the drowning, or do they try to escape?
They won't right now, but you are absolutely right. Along with the good crappie fishing in a couple of months, people are going to be dodging the snakes, too.
Yeah, boy.
Because they will come out, and they will get up in those limbs.
Well, maybe with the elevation of the water, we'll start getting reports of that alligator out there. Donna McBride would like to see out there. Wow,
He's up there. Hey, the trout fishing is, up on the rim. We're pretty well frozen, but Green Valley Lake in Payson. If you want to do some trout fishing, or you want to take your dad out for a day fishing somewhere, come on up to Green Valley Lake. You can catch a limit of trout up there in no time.
Yeah,
a couple hours, you're done, and it's fun.
long as you're in bibbed overalls and a parka. All right, hey, you have a great day. Good report, James.
Okay, thanks.
Remember,
Good
a
week.
Prius with a lift kit. Oh, we're out here. Yeah, man, we're back. All right, back to you, Chief. Let's talk a little bit about the economic impact of recreational shooting in the great state of Arizona.
Well, so, oops,
He broke it.
Nice.
Oh, no. Defamed.
about that. So, yeah, what are you doing to me here? There we go. So we know in Arizona that recreational shooting and hunting combined contributes to over 9,000 jobs in the state of Arizona. It contributes $958 million to our economy.
Okay, let me ask you this. How old is that information?
So this is from 2011. Every 5 years.
Okay. Here's what I want you to do, or just throw this out here. Think about, because I'm trying to help you with this.
Oh boy!
If you take the National Consumer Index for the past 5 years, let's say, has been 2.5. So if you take that and elevate it 2.5% for that time period, is going to give you an actual,
Is that compounded though?
Most likely, it would have been, because every time Obama threatened a gun ban,
sales went up.
Up it went. Yeah. So
he never threatened a gun ban.
Yes, he did. Look at California. So anyway, you can extrapolate that number way up there.
I absolutely agree with you, but I'm not sure if anyone in this table should be doing math in public. So, working for a science-based agency, I'm giving out the latest data. Now, in 2016, the service did their next survey. So that survey is completed, but they have not compiled the data yet. So probably spring of 17, we're going to see the results of the new survey. They do the survey every 5 years on the participation and economic impacts of hunting, shooting, and fishing. So we know it's at least 9,000. I agree with you. We know the industry has grown, and we know it's grown significantly more in Arizona
I'd
compared
put
to
it
other
more
states.
Like 15,000.
Could easily be.
Easy.
But I'm not going to say what I don't know. But so we know that this is a significant economic contributor to the state. We know that recreational access facilitates the demand for this product and people participating in this activity. So, I know we've been keeping an eye on what's going on with the Bureau of Land Management and the potential closing of the Sonoran Desert Monument to recreational shooting. And the department doesn't have a firm position on which one of the 5 plans that the BLM is certainly looking at right now. But we're urging the shooting community to be aware of those 5 different plans and to be heard, because we know that not everybody is going to be comfortable going to a commercial or a public shooting range for the first time. I'd be willing to put money down that everybody at this table probably learned how to shoot a .22 or a pistol out in the woods somewhere or out in the desert somewhere.
Yep.
with a family member. And
everybody at this table, just to put this into perspective, we didn't have shooting ranges.
No. They weren't around back in those days.
Probably.
They weren't.
No.
Is he saying we're old as dirt?
Some of us are. You, on the other hand, are a very junior compared to us.
He's getting there.
I know. I see some of that gray, stubbly.
He didn't have, you wait another 3 years at the department.
He'll be pure white.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. He'll have the Debo look down.
Oh.
I'm going home to my treadmill.
Nice. I think he was talking about the little red Corvette.
And the snow white hair.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Move along.
So, the BLM is listening. They've had several public meetings. They've just announced 2 more. I'm not sure if you're up on this.
They're not listening.
Well, they've provided 2 more opportunities for
Yes,
the citizens of Arizona to be heard. The next 2 are February 11th. It's going to be noon to 3 p.m. at the Cooper Sky Recreation Center in Maricopa. And then on the 21st of February, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Burton Bar Central Library in Phoenix. And that we have a lot of manufacturers in Arizona. We have both firearm and ammunition manufacturers in Arizona. We have a significant number of firearm retailers. But this just does not affect that industry. You look at the gas stations, the restaurants, the campgrounds, the hotels.
Dunkin'
between
Donuts.
here and the Dunkin' Donuts, Denny's. Between here and the Sonoran Desert Monument, the number of people that go to recreate there to support recreational shooting are stopping by. They're getting gas. They're buying breakfast. They're buying camping materials.
All of that collateral stuff that we do when we're going to go out and shoot, is that in your number? It
is. So basically, the specific retail sales, as documented in 2011, for hunting and target shooting activities in Arizona, is only $554 million and change. When you do the multiplier effect, as they call it, they incorporate gas and other expenditures, accessories, and so forth. That's what almost doubles that dollar value. So you figure for every dollar that's spent for recreational shooting, there's almost another dollar that goes into other economic impacts of the state, whether it be the travel industry, the tourism industry, the restaurant industry, and so forth.
Yep. Knowing what you do know and the expert that you are in the firearms industry, why haven't we seen any industry at these meetings with BLM? I've been to one. Mr. Unmock has been to one. There weren't. In fact, I felt rather outnumbered. I will say that the Bureau of Land Management did an outstanding job with their colored charts and graphs and handouts, and there was 14 people from BLM present, 1 from the department, and 6 private sector people.
Well, and that's why I appreciate your time to be on this show. My experience when I was in the industry is, we get very siloed. We get busy in the day-to-day. You've got employee issues. You've got to pay the bills. What are sales looking like? Hey, there's a trucking strike. Are you going to get your product in time? So the day-to-day business runs away with most manufacturers and retailers. When we look at the Arizona manufacturers, I mean, they're basically significant, but still, they're basically at the end of the day a sole proprietorship. Yeah. So one thing is being aware that this is even going on. I work for the department, and this isn't specifically focused to my specialty, so I happened upon this information kind of by accident because I get caught up in the day-to-day.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why I really appreciate your show so much, because you bring these issues to light.
Well, I would think that Cabela's Bass Pro Shops, Dick's Sporting Goods, Joy from Lookout Mountain would be down there raising holy hell, along with Robar and...
Okay, wait a minute. Check back on that.
What?
You're Joey. Joey has his own shop he has to run. He has his own payroll. He has inventory. He has everything he has to do. You and I have a level of commitment to ferreting out the unique things that go on in our world. And we have gone a long way over the last 5 years from going to just hook and bullet talk and having fun and where's the latest fishing hole to examining some of the issues that are out there. And I understand that there is a lack of involvement by a whole lot of people because of the time constraints as well as the lack of knowledge. That's where we're doing missionary work, Donnie. This is called missionary work. What we're doing.
Yeah, we're out walking point because we're getting shot at.
Well, that's okay. I mean, that's an
we will
expectation.
shoot back.
Yeah, but realistically, you're going to be years from now when people are going to be on point for anything that's going to reduce their opportunities or their areas that they can access in public land.
Let me throw something back at you. Since you're shooting at me, I'm going to shoot back. I get what you're telling me.
Yeah.
But I don't work for Cabela's, Dick's, or Bass Pro Shops, or even Joe Nosh. I work hard for him just because I like the guy. But it's up to us to represent them at a BLM meeting.
Sometimes,
look,
yeah.
These meetings, they've got PR people, they've got sales staff.
Wait, okay, look at it this way.
And I start at 5 o'clock, 5 to 8. So miss your lunch hour and go to the meeting and get extra credit.
You're dealing with one of two dynamics. Either you're dealing with a national level retailer where the local stores are not going to have the authority to speak on behalf of the corporation.
Well, right there,
I'm hearing you.
I hear you. That's a bunch of crap.
Keep going.
Politically.
Come on, Scott, get him.
When I was with Home Depot, all right, you have to be that size of a company to even think about a political affairs department within that corporation.
They have general managers. You look at Sportsman's Warehouse. What better spokesperson would they have other than Jenny Rigo out there jumping up and down?
I agree with you, but what is the most controllable expense in retail? Payroll. And let me tell you something. These companies, through no fault of their own, are publicly traded, and they have stockholders who don't get it. The stockholders just want to know, what is our return on investment? So at the end of the day, it is so hard for a retailer at the store level. There's 25 years. There's a reason I stepped out of that world.
Yeah.
Because I could only bring my retailer to the table to the level that they were willing to commit to.
So like
and
everything else, they're leaving it to a select few in the private sector to go do their bidding for them.
This is why I'm with Arizona Game and Fish now, because I wanted to win, and I wanted to pursue this to a higher level, and the department, thankfully, has given me the platform to pursue things like this.
You look at it this way too, Donnie. We got 100,000 applicants for elk tags every year. How many people work on a project?
Why aren't they there?
They won't. They never have, and they never will. Period. End of story. You find those people who are willing to go above and beyond, and you cultivate and you work with them, and you hope that they pass it on to somebody else to do.
And
the
then,
same
while
thing.
I'm on a rant, why doesn't the department have a position?
Because they don't have enough Prius money.
Oh, my God.
That said, we're going to stand down. And praise God, we do not have any dead soldiers. We have no fallen law enforcement officers. It's been a good day. We'll be right back.
Now, here's your host, saltwater fisherman, the man that fears no fish, Bass Daddy and Tournament Pro, Don McDowell.
We are back. Welcome to the second hour of Shake, Rattle, and Troll. JK's in here playing me like a cheap fiddle. Yeah.
Spirited debate.
There's no question that it's a spirited debate, but generally I set him up and then just boom.
Yeah, I feel like I just got spiked. And we have the wildlife branch chief, Scott Lavin from AZGFD, the paperboy. I feel bad calling you a paperboy because I know you did that when you were 10 or 11.
No, I was
What's
younger
your
than that.
actual title?
I'm
Publisher.
The publisher.
Publisher.
Yeah. That translates into paperboy.
Paperboy. Okay. We're talking about just a whole bunch of stuff today. The fishing report's not very good. It's cold. The fish are
They're taking a nosedive.
running deep, lethargic, suspended. Bad day on the water, but
You know, Don Scott had a really good point in there about why there aren't more people participating in some of this stuff. It really brings it home when, especially if you got your own business, and I understand what you guys are saying, but man, it's hard to get to all the places you need to get to.
yeah, but it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. If you can't get your business done between 8 and 5, maybe you ought to rethink what the hell you're doing.
I've been doing that, but I've been ingrained in my business for too long.
these big box retailers especially, they have got people that do that kind of stuff.
Well, like my friend Danny Dillinger used to say, if you can't get your job done by 10 o'clock in the morning, job's too big for you. But I never managed to make that work.
No. That's not reality.
Yeah, but didn't he have a stripper club?
No.
Right.
All right.
He might have visited a few of them.
People do have families, though. I mean, you and I were both at a time and place. I mean, I look back 30 years ago when I had my kids and they were in grade school. I had them in hockey, but I still managed to go to RMEF meetings once a month.
That
was a big stretch.
Perfect example. I get a job working at Ben Avery Shooting Facility. I'm a recreational shooter. I'm a former serviceman. I think I've hit the lottery every single day. Around 5, 6 p.m., whenever I'm getting off work, I hear them shooting right over at the Clay Target Center while I'm walking to the employee parking lot. And every single day I make an adult decision, you know what, I'm going to go home, see my wife, or I've got to clean the garage, or I've got to cut the grass, or whatever, and life just gets in the way. I have never shot less since I've gotten a job working at the largest shooting range in the nation.
I get it.
We used to be on the water, well, for a long time, daily. Then we started this paper, and we have little or
The
no
only
time
water
to-
you see is in the bathtub or the shower.
That's about it.
Yeah.
We have little or no time to go do all the recreational things that we used to do.
Scott, any idea of how many shots were fired at Ben Avery annually?
Wow.
Billions with a B.
They see over 100,000 recreational shooters a year. You look at the number of professional organized shoots that are now coming, not just to the Clay Target Center, because the Clay Target Center always was a national draw.
Yeah.
But now you look at since they've built the Burger Bullets building on the 1,000-yard range, we now have international center fire shoots coming. So I couldn't even guess that number. I'd have to do some digging.
I find my little world I live in. I'm out at the department often, and when you park in the parking lot and you open the door, I duck because of pop, 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 pop. I never know if that's Director Boyles, Jim DeVos,
Sandy Barr.
yeah. Any number of people taking shots at the truck. So, I want to get back on this Sonoran Desert National Monument recreational shooting issue. I appreciate your engagement, but I would encourage the department to come out with a stance. We have to take a stance. The businesses, the retailers, industry needs to take a stance. Private sector, the organizations that we belong to, it's difficult to take a stance with that because everybody's got these varied opinions, and I appreciate that. But my take on the whole thing is Black Lives Matter, not Black Lives Matter, BLM, Bureau of Land Management. They're doing some things, and I'm not any smarter than the next guy. But
I agree.
What you I'm going to deal with, trust me. God.
You've been into those cookies over there, haven't you?
Yeah. Thank you, Jan. I love you, Jan.
Yeah, he's got a sugar buzz going on here. But there's a pattern developing here, Scott, and this is kind of a pragmatic view of the obvious as far as I'm concerned. I understand what they're doing. They wanted a restriction, the 10,000 acre restriction on roads 8001, 8004 on that El Paso natural gas right away. And why? Because they don't have the money in the budget for enforcement. So here's what happens. They go to court. They get somebody to sue them. It's called the plaintiff, and it's a natural historic something.
National
whatever.
Trust for Historic Preservation.
Yeah, well, they don't have any skin in the game in Arizona. Their claim to fame is they restored a house in Maryland or some damn place on the left coast. And yet here they are dictating on what's going to happen in court. BLM is the master at doing NEPAs, environmental impact studies. They went to court, and they had to do that. They went to court, and they blew it.
Here's the
judge said, look, BLM, you guys did such a bad job. You lose. You have to go back and redo your paperwork. In the meanwhile, you get a summary judgment of guess what? The exact 10,000 acres and some change that they wanted restricted to begin with. Now, my nasal passages aren't that good, but something stinks.
So,
all right, now let me take it a step further. 2007 option. Let's see, what is it? Option number
C.
In 2007, they restricted and closed 54,000+ acres for no travel because they wanted Mother Nature to rehabilitate the habitat, and I totally get that. They haven't lifted that. Now, what they're planning on, what they haven't told you in all of this, is they want to improve the roads. They want to build camping facilities, amenities within that 54,000 acre restriction that they already have. The bad part about it is they have no budget. They don't know where the budget commitments are going to come from. It's a pie in the sky, but yet they're doing it. In the private sector, in the organizations are believing them, going, well, yeah. It's like, really? This is my problem with federal government. There's a lack of transparency. There's no accountability. They're wrong. They're caught. And when presented to them, they go, spin, pivot, leave the room. They don't want to talk about this.
Oh, that's called the Devo factor. The spin master.
So
spin and pivot.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've done more homework on this than I have. What I would point out, and if I may be a voice of moderation for a moment.
Oh, thank you. You see, it spreads.
I'll tap you out here for a minute. You identified a key point, though. They didn't start this. A third-party entity who obviously is anti-recreational shooting started this with a lawsuit.
I'm going to challenge you. DOI was not in favor of restriction. BLM answers to DOI. They went against DOI, and my best guess is they put these guys up to suing them. I think this was benched before it went to the judge.
I can't.
It's called covert action and lack of transparency.
Living easy, loving free. Season ticket on a one-way ride. Asking nothing.
All right, and we're back. Hey, I'm the ping pong ball today. I want to thank you for that exchange, Chief. A couple other things. We're dealing with this lack of transparency. We're with the federal partners and even some of the state agencies, not necessarily the department, but the people that the department has to deal with. Fish and Wildlife Service, we've got F-1437 still running around, and that whole thing seems to smell to a certain extent. Now, Wolf F-1437, you may not know this, has been convicted of at least nine cattle killings, suspected of as high as 13. Well, she had a boyfriend. Let's call him Mr. Alpha Male. Was out there helping him make a living, killing calves, by the way. And we have a 3-strike rule. I don't know if that 3-strike rule was ever written into actual rule, but that was the philosophy that the department took, that Fish and Wildlife Service, if you were a wolf and you went out and did 3 bad things and were convicted, you were going to be managed. Well, here lately, apparently the Fish and Wildlife Service doesn't know what the word managed means. That could be, we're going to catch you and we're going to take you to a bad wolf hotel. We're going to feed you and let you breed until you die.
That's sort of pregnant?
Yeah. So, that said, according to Fish and Wildlife Service, in March of 2016, 1437's caller quit tweeting, so they didn't know where exactly it was. So apparently the IFT team has some trail cams out. And anyway, they boil it all down to, instead of going out and managing this wolf, including lethal removal, they went and took out her boyfriend. And according to him, she hasn't misbehaved anymore, and we still have a rogue cow killer running loose. Nobody wants to deal with that. It's the same thing as BLM down here. They don't want to deal with the truth. They keep dancing around it. And we have 32 organizations. I assume we're going to take a AZSFWC stance on this.
Yeah, we are.
I got accused of softening up my stance, and after going to a meeting, but I haven't. I understand Mr. Thomas, the Phoenix district manager for the BLM. I understand his vision. I get that. We all have a vision, and it would be nice to have some camping amenities and stuff down there to go to a certain extent, but not at the extent of restricting 54,000 acres and doing it in such a covert BS manner that they're going about it.
Well, we're going to all learn what it feels like to live in Afghanistan and Pakistan now, since they're going to use drone technology to keep an eye on us. He mentioned that, and that's a scary thought.
Their plan, he was very, very interesting guy to talk to, and I applaud him. He understands a lot of stuff, and I think the thing that he probably understands the most is they don't have any budget. And what they want to do is drone map this entire 500,000 acres plus and find out where every rock, stick, cacti, bush lives, and then implement IBM Watson, which takes all that stuff and knows if you go out there, Scott, and you leave a bucket, Watson knows that.
Yeah.
Watson calls security, and they go.
The wood cops come after you.
Go see where that bucket is. They have it in D.C. It's high-level security. If you leave a backpack on the steps up there, poof, Watson knows it. So it's interesting technology, but going back to my point, they don't have the budget to pay a guy $50,000, $75,000 a year, whatever it is, buy him an F-250 when he could get by with a 150, give him a shovel and some tools. So let's talk. They've got $100,000 investment rolling. They got $25,000 less than that max. So that's $175,000 a year, not including the amortization of the vehicle over a period of 5 years.
You have to pay for the software account, which is going to be thousands of dollars
Yeah,
a year.
well, I'm looking at them going, you know what, this isn't going to happen. I don't see how it can happen.
You watch.
You watch. We've got a change in Washington, D.C. in the lack of transparency. It's like now the big flap with Scott Pruitt in and amongst the AZSWC board members. I don't know what these guys live in a box. Scott Pruitt has taken on. He was the Oklahoma Attorney General, just pounding EPA, and now there's been. Well, I don't know, man. He let them dump some chicken guts out here in Oklahoma or something. Whatever. It's just like, pay attention, guys. I'm just getting really aggravated at this whole thing. So, back to you, Jim. I'm done.
No, you're not.
No, hell no. Come on, really?
I'm done.
He needs a 30-second. Okay, I'm back.
I need
John,
a sedative.
You were talking about the drones and
Yep.
the scary thoughts there. I ran into a website a couple of days ago, and I do not recall the name of it. I bookmarked it, but it's...
We be drones and stuff.
Well, this thing was incredible. It said, if you want information on anybody, just type in a name. Mm-hmm. So I picked a name, somebody I knew. It was a generic, there's how many thousands of the same name out there. I typed that name in there, and I watched it go through all of its little stuff, and it ran every kind of check you can think on that name. Wow. And all of a sudden it started popping up. And it had questions. It asked you a couple of questions along the way.
To delineate it down further.
And it brought up 4 or 5 names that I knew for a fact were associated with that person. So I said yes. And it took about, I'm guessing, 3 or 4 minutes. And it went through that. And it spit out a complete report. I mean, it talked about stuff that this person's spouse didn't know about.
Do me a favor, when you go back in this afternoon, Google Benjamin J. Tuggle, Sherry Barrett, Dan Ash, and, Sally Jewell.
Might as well. Bedmates.
Sandy Bar.
I expect a written report by 1700 Monday.
You didn't tell me there's going to be homework when I came down.
Wow.
Didn't know.
I couldn't believe this website, though. I mean,
This
it was
is what
just
blows
incredible.
my mind.
And this has to do with hook and bullets. How?
Well, it has to do with his scary drone thing about keeping an eye on everybody. I mean,
Well,
it was
this may
amazing the
be your
information
answer
this
to
came up with.
exposing Carolyn Suckling for stealing slippers back in the 60s or 70s, whenever it was.
1994.
94.
Yeah.
Now, wait a minute. Somebody stole your slippers?
No, Kieran Suckling from the Center for Biological Diversity was arrested for stealing slippers and a pair of boots.
I thought it was a nightgown.
No, it wasn't a nightgown. No, he was arrested for that, and he should have been just released by the Center for Biological Diversity at that time. He was under stress because of a breakup with a girlfriend or something. That was his excuse. They put him on a year sabbatical from the Center for Biological Diversity.
Was that paid?
Time. Probably. But at any rate, he came back in, and the rest is history.
Okay, Chief, the answer period or comment period for BLM, not to be confused with Black Lives Matters, Bureau of Land Management on the Sonoran Desert Recreation Shooting Moratorium, or whatever you want to call it. What did that change to? I think it was March 15th.
I do not have an update on whether or not they pushed back the comment period. I just know that they added the two other meetings. See, the meetings they had in January were conflicting with a lot. Conflicted with SHOT Show. I mean, most of your industry partners who may have wanted to attend were probably going to be in Vegas, Nevada for SHOT Show. So I see this as a good thing. I see this as at least
more opportunity.
At least this is a good faith effort.
Okay,
now to your point, will it draw a large audience? Realistically,
yeah, but how about if we do a phone campaign with Bass Pro Shops now that they have a common mother, Cabela's, Dick's Sporting Goods, some of the other hook and bullet shops around.
So we've leveraged our contact list for the State Industry Summit. They know what is going on, and they understand what the economic impacts are. Now, again, when we say that it's $1 billion in economic stimulus and over however many thousands of jobs. We can't assess what percentage of that would be affected by a closure of the Sonoran Desert Monument. We just know
it's going to have an effect.
There will be an impact.
Yeah,
so the communication is being pushed out, and the opportunity for more time and to activate more people is a welcome opportunity.
I agree. I just hope more people get out, make the comments, go to the meetings, voice your opinion on it. And quite frankly, as Jimmy said last week when he was on the show with us, there's not any wildlife out there per se.
No.
It's fairly desolate out there, and someday we'll get into why there's no wildlife out there.
And look, you don't even have to attend the meetings. I mean, if you want to send in a written comment.
Oh, good. What is that?
How do you do it? If you still know how to operate an envelope and a stamp, because I'm starting to forget, you can send it out to Wayne Monger, who's the BLM project manager for this effort. It's at 21605 North 7th Avenue, Phoenix, Arizona, 85027. Or you can go to BLM _AZ _SDNM target shooting at BLM.gov. Easiest thing, we're on the radio, you might not be taking notes. Go to the BLM website, look for the link to send in public comments.
Bureau of Land Management. Don't get that confused with the new Black Panther movement. That said, when we come back, we're going to talk to Captain Bill, your favorite guy.
Captain Laidback, here we come.
Yeah, man. All right. I'm Don McDowell with
Jim Allen.
Scott Lavin.
The voice of moderation.
All righty, we're going to get off of the BLM, go to downtown San Diego with Captain Bill from Malahini.
I like that song.
Of course you do, Captain Laidback.
Well, yeah.
Song.
No, he's changing his name this week as Captain Laid Up.
Uh-oh. What's the matter,
Yeah.
Captain?
Oh, we're still jacked up, guys. Having issues with the left knee. But you know what? I got a cold on top of that, and it's cold as heck in San Diego. I was going to say I wish I was in Arizona, so I heard it was only 41 degrees there
Yeah.
this morning. I was like, maybe not. I'll stay where I'm at.
Oh, it's up to 60 now. It's cool.
Oh, I'm all right with that. It was like 54 here. It's catching up, though.
Perfect.
How are y'all doing this morning?
We're about to get in a fist fight over here. It's 3 against 1.
What's this we stuff?
We?
About what?
Just about anything today. I don't know whether it's PMS or menopause, ovulation. I'm not sure what it is. So.
Don's having a bad day.
We all have those issues every now and then.
We do. Listen, sounds like the ocean's been having a little bit of PMS, getting kind of angry out there. What's going on?
Oh my God, angry ocean, very, very angry ocean. We've had weather here the past few weeks. We've had a good stretch of weather here, starting on Friday, Saturday. It's supposed to be good till probably Thursday of next week, and then another storm's supposed to be moving in, which will be headed y'all's way, I'm guessing, probably Saturday or Sunday. But life is good. Well, we're not making any money; we're spending money. So boat work is a good thing to do this time of the year, especially when you have a nice weather window. Not rather be fishing, but okay, is what it is.
Well, what kind of work are the boys doing on the good ship Malahini?
Just general maintenance. You have some spots in the deck that we need to reseal so we don't get water into the wood, things like that.
Sure.
That's about it. Just normal wear and tear. Boat runs 11 months out of the year for the most part. And things get worn down. People walking on the deck. We have some not soft spots, but we have some places where the fiberglass is worn away.
Kind of sounds like your knees.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, JK. Give me a break, bud. Don told me that you would be banging on me because I didn't get on the phone last Sunday because my phone was in my truck and my wife went to church without me.
Uh-huh. We missed you. I missed you badly.
I apologize to our listeners. Please forgive me. I will try not to make that mistake again.
Don't.
All right, roger that. I've got a couple of emails to respond to. When guys are coming to the Malahaney, what kind of gear do they need to bring for the bottom cod and rock fishing?
When we're cod fishing, I'm going to say anywhere from 8. You know, I personally like to fish with Spectra or braided line because you fill everything. There is no give. We use a top shot of about 35 or 40 feet of 40-pound test, which 8 to 12, 8 to 16-ounce sinkers. They're fishing anywhere from 100 to 120 to 360 feet of water. And 2 hooks. Like to use the long shank mustad or 7-0 long shank hooks, just call them like that. I don't have a particular brand that we like to use. We use them all, especially if we can get them for free.
Yeah. And free hooks.
Hook manufacturers.
Those are that's the Bernie Sanders line of hooks.
That'll work too. I'm okay with that.
It just doesn't stop, does it?
No, he's killing me. But it's okay. And I don't know. Fishing for the most part, when we get off the dock, it's been phenomenal. I mean, you know, limits of cod every trip that we've ran, you know, some with a mix of some bonito, and we're seeing the yellowtail, but the yellowtail still have lockjaw and don't want to participate in what we're providing to them. They swim around, you get a
one-way boat ride
a little bit, but that's about it. Yeah, exactly. That'd be nice. That'd be really nice. But it is what it is. You know, the guys that are fishing that stuff down at Colonette, when they're getting off the dock, they're doing all right. You know, a mix of cod and yellowtail and things like that. It's 115 miles from where we fish, so it's definitely out of our zone. But we have a lot to offer, you know, our clients and things like that.
All right, Captain Layback, got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
My passport is coming through shortly. And if you were me, what would be the best time for me to come out to the left coast and participate in a boat ride with the opportunity to catch fish?
Any day of the week.
Tuesday's good.
if you're you know, I've said this before, you know, I like to have people on the boat that want to go out and catch fish, whether it's a bottom fish, whether it's a surface fish, you know, depending on the time of the year, to chase the particular species that you want to chase. You know, if you just want to come out and spend the day with your family, your friends, and things like that, and just go fishing, you know, I think the art of going fishing has disappeared over the years because of the fact that, you know, everything is targeted. And I understand, you know, the prices to fish where we fish at are relatively expensive. You know, with the fact that, you know, California, San Diego has increased the minimum wage to $11.50 an hour. It forced us to raise our price $5.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people, you know, a lot of people balked at that, you know, but reality is reality. You know, it is what it is. And it's not a matter of us trying to pass it off, you know, to the passengers. It's just the fact of us doing business.
You have to.
You know, I know a lot of restaurants here in San Diego have instituted a 5% convenience fee or whatever they want to call it.
No, it's the Bernie Sanders syndrome.
Yeah, it's not a convenience fee. It's a fact of life fee. You know, everything increases. You know, we've held our prices steady for the past 3 to 4 years. You know, the price of fuel has stabilized. I'm not sure what it's going to do under this current administration, but, you know, I mean, we have to be prepared to take the necessary actions we need in order to sustain the business. I believe a $5 increase was warranted in that sense. You know, I don't believe it's going to break anybody's pocket. You know, there's several ways that they can go about this.
Have you dropped the surcharge, the fuel surcharge?
We never had one. We haven't had a fuel surcharge since.
Some of the boats did, some of the landings did. Yeah.
Yeah, that's sad. You know, I mean, there was no reason to have a fuel surcharge. When fuel gets to $3.50 a gallon for my boat, that's when we institute a $5 person surfuel charge. Fuel's been at about $2.60, $2.70, I think, this last year. So there's no reason for a fuel surcharge at all.
How many gallons are you carrying on the Malahanny?
Sorry, I'm not sure what you said.
Uh-oh.
That was.
You've been playing with Siri? I know what you're doing. He's talking to us, and he's playing with Siri.
Oh, Siri's having issues today. That was funny.
She's fickle.
Yeah. Come on, Captain Laidback. Stay with us. Stay with us. Just a few more minutes.
Don, I forgot your question.
Oh, God, I love Sunday morning.
You guys have me laughing so hard.
Have you been to church yet, Captain Bill?
No, sir. My wife actually went to church without me this morning because I'm still sick.
I want you to go this evening. I want you to light 2 candles, give them $20, and have the pastor pray for you.
Oh, we could do that.
Of course he could. Yeah.
Okay.
That's funny.
When you going to get your butt out here?
You know what? Are we doing Bass Days again this year?
Negative, Ghost Rider.
Okay, I remember we had a conversation in December about it, and I wasn't sure. Well, maybe I'll come out and just hang out for a weekend and get on the air. Maybe me and KJ can go fish the pond.
Ooh, that would be fun. I haven't been out on the water in a while.
Yeah, I
You
can
have
just
a 2-man kayak?
yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, pedal power and him with a bad knee. Okay, good.
that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be all right with that. I caught my first striper at that lake.
That's true.
Well, that may, quite frankly, Captain Bill, that may be what you need for therapy on your knees is put yourself in a pedal kayak.
Yeah, I know they canceled therapy, my physical therapy, because he wanted my knee to rest. They already put me in a knee immobilizer brace. I'm like, okay, what is that going to do? Who's going to stop you from moving your knee? Oh, I said, okay, that's right.
Must be hell to pay going upstairs then, huh?
My biggest issue is I can't bend my knee past 90 degrees.
Okay.
Yeah, the extension is fine. I mean, it's -4 degrees. The bending's kind of jacked up.
Yeah. Walking lunges is not in your future.
No, not yet, but it will be. I'm positive everything's going to turn out the way it's supposed to turn out.
Just get well by the time I want to go fishing, okay? I don't want any excuses why you can't be on the bridge.
Okay. When's your passport coming in?
Hopefully within 2 weeks.
Perfect.
Well, it's only a year late, but that's okay.
Don't give me anything. Come on.
All right.
I'm going to leave it alone.
Thank you.
Captain, I appreciate you joining us today and wish you the best of the rest of the day.
Guys, we're looking forward to getting off the dock here on Friday and Saturday and Sunday. Our biggest issue is people, for the most part. The weather, like I said, the weather's been playing havoc with everybody, and everybody's watching the weatherman, what the weatherman says.
Yeah,
the weatherman's crack sometimes.
I appreciate the comment about the people because that's the biggest problem I'm having today. It's the people.
Yeah.
All right, God love you, Captain Bill. Check him out, Malahanny Sport Fishing or hmlanding.com. We're going to flip into a break, come back and get
Love
this
you
thing
guys.
cleaned up. All right, love you back. See ya.
Poor Captain Laidback.
This politician talking about his brand new mission. Liked his plans, but they came undone when it got around to God and guns. I don't know how he grew up, but it sure wasn't down at the hunting club.
All righty, we're back. We're going to get this thing cleaned up. JK, you have a couple more points you need to make.
Yeah, we talked last week about the Sierra Club and some of the issues that they had. The Strata Group did a 53-page document, and these are doctorate people, and their analysis is really quite thorough, and I'm going to read the one-paragraph conclusion that they came to. The Equal Access to Justice Act was designed to help the little man stand up against the government. The Sierra Club, worth more than 11 times the Equal Access to Justice Act net worth cap for businesses, cannot be deemed the little man. Even more, the Sierra Club versus the Army Corps of Engineers made it so they can partner with others who are not eligible under the Equal Access to Justice Act. Ultimately, the Sierra Club Foundation, partnered with the Sierra Club, has been a poster child for wealthy 501c3 organizations abusing the Equal Access to Justice Act, and that has made them rich at our taxpayer expense. End of story. That's my issue with the Sierra Club.
Well stated. All right. Mr. Allen, anything to add on your behalf of Wide Open Throttle or Western Outdoor Times, Arizona Boating and Water Sports?
Where you guys are playing today, I'm afraid to say anything.
Oh, don't be. We'll smash you right down.
When is your article coming out on the consumption of horse meat?
In theory, the Arizona Republic indicated that they're going to have a different version now. They're going to go video streaming as well as documentation. So sometime in February or March, they're going to have this where the video of you and I consuming horse meat. By the way, I only have a profile shot. You have a full head-on shot of you eating the horse meat as well. So don't call this me stuff. It's we. And all I have to be able to do is run a little bit faster than you.
Uh-oh.
End of story. So, yeah, sometime in March or April.
Thank God for recreational shooting practice.
That's what I count on from you, Donnie.
Nice.
You practice, I can run.
Chief Lavin.
I never knew about any of this. See, I'm siloed. I had no idea that was going on. Just, again, be aware of the meetings for the public input for the closing of the Sonoran Desert Monument, February 11th and February 21st. You can be heard by going to BLM_AZ_SDNM, target shooting at BLM.gov. If you want more information, you can go to www.respectedaccessarizona.org. Just be heard, be aware, be informed. And then if you really want a great time with the family, start planning and thinking about the Arizona Game of Fish Outdoor Expo last weekend of March.
Nice.
I think we'll be there.
Well, they have all kinds of shooting opportunities there. Glock and Robart, a bunch of people are there. Ruger.
We have actually, after I think 5 years, expanded the firearms manufacturing line, so there will be even more space to try different brands of firearms while you're at the expo, in addition to kayaking, family fishing, off-highway vehicle, education opportunities, presentations from manufacturers. It's a busy weekend.
Do you have that Gatling gun this year?
You know what? I don't know if Arrow's booked or not. Their business has gone through the roof, so if they're available, they get the last range on the west side of the range.
Yeah.
And that minigun is a big draw. I cannot confirm or deny whether or not. Registration's still open. We're about 20% still available for vendors. We're actually expanding the retail vendor space as well. So I think I just heard that you guys aren't doing Bass Days, which is kind of upsetting.
Yeah, we're going to stand out on that this year. Wasn't totally, my decision, but some stuff going on down there. But
we'll have
anyway.
to talk if any of your traditional vendors are still looking for a venue around the same time of year. We'll have to.
Yeah.
We'll definitely open the door for you guys.
Excellent idea.
We took our granddaughter out a number of years ago, and she was, 14, 15, whatever at the time, and she got to fire that Gatling gun. And she just got totally involved in weapons. I mean, she's very good. She just got back from her basic and AIT training, and she was number one on firing. That's where she started
back.
on it there.
Yep, that's pretty
started
cool.
out with that Gatling gun. But,
It's amazing how life changes women with weapons. Think about that.
No kidding. Women with weapons is not necessarily a good thing.
That may be the greatest threat to male recruitment is that ladies learn at an accelerated rate to men.
Do they really?
It's
actually,
embarrassing.
I've seen how good women can become with
a
shooting handgun based on a real short period of time.
Unlike us, they listen to direction. When they get to the range, they're not looking to impress anybody. They actually want to learn. I'm not going to listen to John at the range. I'm going to try and look cool.
Thank you.
Wow.
Hang on a second. Oh, I was just ripped.
Yeah.
Stem the bleeding right now.
Okay. Hit the ADA banquet.
February 25th. Doors open at 4 o'clock, and we're going to have a great time. Lots of good items this year.
How many firearms?
We're debating between 15 and 20 firearms.
Wow.
So, and
Good.
all of them will be a retail value of more than $500. So it's not going to be your little
Scott,
daisy.
The quality of the firearms, whether it be, some
good stuff.
Good quality stuff. Steak, beans, taters, and salad.
Fresh off the grill. You walk through the pickup line and they're cooking. I wouldn't want to be the guy on the other side of the line cooking all that stuff, but they do a great job of it, and it's really
They do. Rustler's Roost.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice place. Right behind the Arizona Grand, which is even better. That's a great place for meetings and everything, as we found out from the commission banquets and
That
stuff.
thing was fantastic this year.
Yep.
It was really, really well done.
First year in a long time I haven't been abused by one of the former commissioners, so I felt good.
Nice.
Didn't freeze to death in there either.
No.
Last one was a little nippy.
Well, I think we're going to have a good year, with all the water coming into our reservoirs. Roosevelt's sitting right now at 50%.
That's amazing. When you think back on it, if it ever got to 70%, I would just be tickled to death.
Yeah.
It
Well,
has
hopefully
possibilities.
we'll get there and then some. I'd like to see it, 75, 80 going into the summertime, and maybe the guys will take care of the water this time. But that's another story for another show. And
Don't go there. Don't start now.
Pick on them later.
We're almost done. Don't do it.
Well, yeah, we're going to spend the rest of the day out at Tempe Diablo Stadium. Bring the family out. We've got the 26th annual Arizona Military Vehicle Collectors Club show. There's a British Chieftain tank that's out there, real nice one, from Bulletproof Diesel. We've got a Hellcat M18 that the Avenging Angel was in the movie Fury.
Yep.
In view of Brad Pitt's stance on Donald Trump, I'm glad they shot him. So, anyway,
is there a charge to get in out there?
I think it's a nominal $5.
Really?
Yeah, kids are free.
Yeah.
So,
by the way, that's a hell of a nice shirt you're wearing today, Scott.
I appreciate that.
Looks good.
Okay, Shot Heard Around the World. Hit that real quick. What are you doing on that?
So Shot Heard Around the World Day was very busy at SHOT Show. We made some good friends. We're about to have some releases coming out on the website and the Facebook page. In the meantime, this week, the thing I can announce is that we're announcing 4 college intern opportunities. So we're about to connect with a bigger audience, and we need more staff to do that. So that's exciting.
What's their to be an intern? What's their major supposed to be in?
So
bullets.
No. Ideally, for our purposes, it would be social media and marketing. It's funny when you look at the college course selection guides. They've got all sorts of new names for college majors that are very creative. But basically, we're looking for somebody with a marketing and/or a organized outreach approach to education. Obviously, you know,
you need a corporate wellness internship out of Game and Fish. I've seen enough bodies walking around that they need just a little bit more exercise.
You need a green belt inside.
I don't know. I'd say remember I was in the infantry. Some of the people I work with are some of the baddest people I've ever worked with. There's always the variety.
Right.
But there are some extremely, you look at my branch chief peer, Doug Cummings, he runs marathons multiple times a year. He's very frustrating to try and get on a workout regimen with.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good. No, I understand. If we get more people who are doing the internship programs out there, I think that some of the stuff that we want to get up and running would be a lot. I've found that as an avenue where you don't have to necessarily pay a whole lot of money, but you can get a lot of productivity when somebody's guided in a single direction, and you can make things happen that way.
And not to be confused, Shot Heard Around the World Day is a separate entity, but the Arizona Game and Fish Department is pursuing internships because really at this moment, it's the only opportunity for us to try and leverage staffing with the current statewide hiring freeze for state agencies. So,
have you partnered with ASU on that?
There are relationships with ASU, and I know our information branch just brought in a very similar type of social media marketing position under an internship.
Kudos. Good.
All righty, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Please get your comments in on the recreational shooting on the Sonoran Desert National Monument. I'm Don McDowell.
Special K.
Scott Lavin.
Jim Allen.
Keep your pistol greased, Jimmy.
Always.
Change is coming. Take your kids fishing, hug your bass boat. We're out of here.